folks, and welcome to the Green Room. This is Rodney Warner. I'm hosting today because beloved Vinny Veterosa, he's not here today, so I'm just filling in. I'm here with Rob Bell. How are you, Rob?
I'm here, but you can't see me. Because we're live on PANJ TV as well.
Okay. That's right. We've got cameras today.
That's right.
Just to make me that much more self-aware.
I'm here in the studio, in the engineering section of the studio.
And today's show is about Ely Park in Lambertville. And we've got a special guest today, Jim Mastrich, if I've pronounced that correctly.
You have.
Well done. Right.
Well done.
All right. Thank you. Because Vinny's really bad at pronouncing names, so...
He always gets it wrong.
I know. He even gets my name wrong, and I've been helping him out for years. And
Rodney seems like an easy name to get right.
But it's the Warner part that trips him up. I'm Rodney Wagner half the time, which is fine, because I've been called much worse things. So Rodney Wagner is fine. So it's my understanding you are the president of the Friends of Ely Park. Is that correct?
I am.
Okay. And tell us about yourself.
Myself.
How did you get involved?
Oh, Jim Hamilton gave me a call.
Okay.
And said, Jim, I want you to run this organization I got going.
And for the benefit of the audience, tell me who Jim Hamilton is.
Jim Hamilton is an iconic Lambertville figure.
Okay.
Son of the town doctor from the olden days,
All right.
20s and 30s and 40s. And he is, he's so many things. He did Broadway set designer and lighting for Hair and for Equus. He orchestrated the release of Lee Iacocca's Mustang.
He did what? Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. You want a story?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. So Lee Iacocca contracted with Jim Hamilton to go to Las Vegas to help the unveiling of the Mustang, right? Mm-hmm. And they had an arena. I don't know which one, but they had an arena. And Jim had this whole thing orchestrated because he's Broadway, right? Where a structure was going to look like a spaceship was going to come down from the ceiling. And this is going to be an arena filled full of excited car enthusiasts. Come down from the ceiling, land, and gases and smokes and light and stuff. Smoke and lights. And then it would lift off, and there would be the Mustang, to the astonishment of everyone. Because if you recall, that first Mustang was spectacular. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
That one they still are.
Right.
Most popular American car ever made, I think.
A fantastic car. So it was very exciting. So Hamilton goes out there ready to do this whole thing, and he realizes that the structure, the building codes out there, when they build arenas, are not built for withstanding snow like they are here, which means something that a heavy object can be suspended from, like a spaceship and a car.
Well, did he find this out before he tried to
Yeah,
do
I was going to
this?
ask that.
He tried it out before.
Okay, well, that's good.
But so he created this thing where it looked just like that. The crowd saw this spaceship come down, land, and there was the smoke and the sound and the lights and stuff, and the spaceship lifted off, and there was the Mustang. The thing occurred. Except the car was already on the ground the whole time. And through the magic of what he had learned on Broadway,
right,
no one saw it, and the event was successful, and the roof didn't cave in. So Jim was kind of a wizard that way. He did shows for Rolling Stones, for David Bowie. For a while, he had something to do with Woodstock. I never followed up on all that, but he arranged for part of the staging of Woodstock to end up behind, Oxford Communications by the Yellow Brick Toad. The stage for Woodstock rotted away up on the top of the hill in Music Mountain. Anyway, so Jim was a pretty talented guy. Chef, created Hamilton's Grill Room, James Beard award-winning chef. When Lambertville was a pretty shabby place in the 60s and 70s, he got together with the mayor, Phil Pittori, and did weekly meetings for free where residents can come to figure out how to make their house better. And he would do free designs for them and send them on their way. And the whole process of getting permits, construction permits, was expedited so that Lambertville can turn itself around. And he designed back then sketches for what would the city look like if eventually we had the money to do the lighting that is currently on Union Street, those black lights. He designed that 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And one of his visions also was renovating Ely Park and making it to be a beautiful, welcoming entrance for people coming into the city, and for people who are residents of the city to go and gather, not just to watch watching sports, but come and hang out with everyone else, young, old, rich, poor, art stuff, sports stuff. Yeah.
So tell me about the park. I mean, how far back does it go? How big is it? What goes on there?
Well, there's a lot of baseball and a lot of football that goes on, and softball that goes on in the park, and that's been forever. If you go to the Friends of Ely Park website, there's a film that we acquired and put for people's access that is called Lambertville 1949. And it's a story of, I guess, in part based upon truth, where kids didn't have anything to do in Lambertville back then, and they got into mischief and stuff, right? Stealing apples from the local grocery store. Parking on Lover's Lane and stuff like that. And so the town
throwing snowballs.
Yeah. And right, exactly. Saying gosh and stuff. And so the townsfolk were concerned, and they gathered together and figured out how could we do something that would entertain the kids so they wouldn't get in trouble so much. And so back then, Paul Whitman, who lived up on the hill, big band leader, was part of the group of guys who orchestrated what was then going to be a Friday or Saturday night dance scene out on Ely Park. So if you look at that Lambertville 1949, there they are doing the Lindy, and old folks and young folks dancing in the park.
Classic Americana.
It truly is.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. It's fun to watch. It's a hoot, actually.
So as far as the Friends of the Park, what do they do? What is their role?
Our mission. Well, let me tell you who are the Friends of the Park.
Please.
Right. Well, basically anyone who donates.
So anyone can be a friend.
Yes.
Anyone out there in internet land.
Yeah, go to friendsofelypark.org. But the board members of the Friends of Ely Park basically are people who are willing to who have been willing to volunteer their time, who Jim sought out to help fulfill his vision of creating this green space that is beautiful and welcoming and safe and a great community gathering point. So basically, I think this is true. Every single person on the board is someone who Jim Hamilton figured out, this person could be useful for this cause, and he asked them. And because people are so grateful to all the work that Jim has done for the community over the years, I mean, the answer for everyone was, okay. If you're busy, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'll do it.
So of all the million causes that you could be involved with, you're involved in this because of him.
Yep, absolutely. There's other causes I'm interested in, but Jim asked, and say I was on the board of the Lambertville Area Education Foundation for years, and we'd always ask Jim for our annual auction, would you come and do your paella and give it away for free for a party of 400 people? And he'd bring out this giant paella dish and do this spectacular presentation, and it was his time, his money, his food for free.
Right.
And then, Jim, could we auction off you doing a dinner at your place? And he was always, yeah. And so we'd get a couple of grand for Jim doing dinner for 8 at his apartment. And he would do that for other organizations as well. New Hope Arts, he would do it for. Well, just a lot of giving away of his time to make this community, the Lambertville New Hope community, a richer place.
So how long have you been involved?
I've been involved since, I think, 2011.
Okay.
Something like
So
that.
so it's been a fair amount of time. I mean, there must be something beyond Jim that keeps you going.
Well, it's a worthwhile cause.
Right.
But we're also really dedicated to his vision.
Right.
Because it's a good one.
So as far as the Friends organization, and from little I've read, I guess, are there certain steps or certain things that you want to accomplish, like one thing after another after another? Is that kind of the vision for the park?
Yeah. We started right in the center of the park because we wanted to create a welcoming entranceway right near the snack shack, actually, where we put in a curved seating wall and some columns and fencing on either side of that opening to be the departure point for our work there at the park. And we've done that. That's in. And then as part of that, we built two, in the same style of the bricks and the iron columns, the iron fencing, we created 2 softball dugouts for the girls in the park, because they always had the boys had dugouts.
Right.
And the girls had cages. And now the girls have these really nice dugouts.
As they should.
As they should, yeah, it's great. And then last year I don't know if you're familiar with the park, and if you're not 16, it had been a dangerous place.
Really?
Because you can slip and fall because it's curved and not well, lit, and it was shaky.
Yeah.
So we, in coordination with the city over the last couple of years, built a couple of handicap ramps, so it's safe to walk around the snack shack area, and just to increase it being a more viable place for anybody of any age to go there.
Okay.
And we did plantings around the area. Right?
So up to this point, as far as the financing, was this strictly the Friends, or was this a combination of the Friends and the town? How did that work?
Up until the ramps that were recently put in, it was just Friends private donations. When the city was able to acquire some money for the ramps, and then that happened.
Right.
And then Jim's vision for the perimeter of the park was to have this series of beautiful brick columns and metal fencing going the length of North Main Street. And the city recently passed all of the stuff they need to do to appropriate the funds for that construction, which will occur, I presume, in the early spring.
So is there existing fencing there?
Yeah, chain link.
Okay. So that's more functional than...
Well, in the parts that are holding up, it's functional. Right.
And how much is not holding up?
Well, enough to warrant changing it out. But this will be a elegant, beautiful, safe way to demarcate the park that will last for 100 years.
So is, from what I've read, this has been approved by the town. I'm kind of curious, is this a project that the Friends came to the town and said, here, this is something we want you to pay for, or can you please pay for it? And it's been approved, so is the money going to go through your organization, or is the money going to go from the town to the contractor?
For the fencing part?
Yeah.
It's directly from the town to the contractor.
Okay.
It's our original design.
Right.
Jim's vision, our original design, and, construction documents for it.
Because I was kind of curious, does there need to be a bidding process? Because it's...
For government funds, there always needs to be a bidding process.
Okay. So 410 has been appropriated, but whatever the bids are, then the bids are whatever the bids are.
The bids were less than that. I can't tell you the exact numbers.
Okay.
But the 410 was So I've learned, because I'm new at this governmental appropriation.
You're doing a fine job so
Thank you
far.
very much. When government money gets spent, there must be a bidding process.
Yes.
And when government money gets spent, you must price in for prevailing wage, which makes the cost of doing the project about 25% higher than it would otherwise. You know, if we had the dough, the Friends of Ely Park had the dough to do this, we would figure out a contractor to do it, and it would be probably 25% less. But with government funding, the standards must be at this prevailing wage, and then there must be a bidding process.
So what was the process by which you got the city to approve this?
Well, I think the city saw that we're a long-standing organization that's been doing quality work. And the city has long known Jim and respected Jim. And so we have some credibility just on the basis of what we've been doing. And we basically talked to folks at City Council and the mayor and said, here's where we are. Here's what we could use funding for. It's the same thing when we did the ramps. We went to the city and said, this was not safe. We have a design for making it safer. And then the folks from the city said, let's see if we can find county monies that would be for, I think we're ADA monies.
Right.
So the city, joined in because it would be good for them too to not get sued.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing.
Well, and truly, if you were an elderly person, it was shaky there.
Yeah,
So-
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
No, I have an 87-year-old mom,
There you go.
and I had to take her to the eye surgeon. A very, very big practice, all kinds of doctors, and a door that I had a hard time opening.
Right.
There was no
Right.
power, nothing. So I think definitely the needs of the disabled are not always top of mind when
Correct.
when stuff goes on.
My boys are currently in their 20s, but when they were in elementary years, they played Little League at the park. And I brought my parents to the park.
Right.
And I had to walk my mom down to the bleachers because she would have tumbled.
Right.
So I think the city recognized a need and was willing to help out with the ramping and now with the fencing. Because
So-
with the fencing funded, so that piece of our project is going to be taken care of, we're now freed up to focus on our next thing, which is the fountain. Jim had a vision years ago of creating a fountain that would be a pretty cool space for kids to play in.
Right.
No one's going to drown. So one of those very low retention
we
water
hope.
fountains, where it could be a gathering place, where there'd be places for elderly to sit and listen to the water, watch the water, and at night there'd be colored jets coming up and down, and kids can go out there and dance in the water, and the water would respond to them, and
So do you have any idea what this would cost?
Wow.
What the
That sounds amazing, though.
what
Yeah.
the what kind of ballpark you're going to
Yeah.
need to come up with?
yeah, ballpark is $375,000.
Now, as far as that's concerned, does that include any money for upkeep, or would the town be responsible to keep that going?
Once we get it up and running, the town would then take it over. They're
Okay.
responsible for it. So Jim's idea was, let's create this cool gathering point for people in the city, right? And he thought it'd be a nice thing. He'd like to dedicate it to his dad, so it'd be the Doc Hamilton Fountain, because he was, a revered, the old town doc,
Right.
And so, we've taken that idea and run with it to. We'd like to call the fountain the Hamilton Fountain in honor of Jim and his dad.
So have you started raising money for the fountain? And how much are you up to so far?
We got about 61,000.
Okay.
So we're starting.
So when do you hope? What's what's the goal to have the money on hand?
Well, if at the end of this interview, if the phone lines light up and
We'll finish it off this afternoon.
That's right.
right,
Rob will be happy to take a commission.
No.
Now, it'd be great to have this done in a year and a half if we can get the funding. And we're looking for private funding, not government funding.
So the 410 for the fence. I mean, this is not chump change.
Nope.
And I did some research, and I hope I got this right. I mean, the town budget, I think, is about $5 million, as far as I can figure out. And that includes, municipal taxes kicks in about $2.2 million. So this is roughly the equivalent of almost 20% of all the taxes raised from Lambertville in 1 year. I mean, this is not a little bit of money.
Nope.
And so as far as folks who might think that maybe this is money not well spent, what do you say to them? How do you say that, yes, this is money well spent? Why is it well spent?
Well, what's going to be constructed is going to be creating a safer, more beautiful part of the city in the only existing large green space in the city. And what is invested now will last 100 years because it's a quality project.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the return on that investment will come back over and over again. It's going to be just a wonderful place.
Right.
And, as part of, it's separate, there's been no funding for this, but, we're looking to build in and acquire funding, hopefully from the state, for some safe traffic crossing spots.
Mm-hmm.
So kids coming to play football or softball or baseball can get across without it being a little hairy as it sometimes gets. So those lighted up crosswalks, for instance.
Right.
I think we should have those all over town.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very dangerous to do the crossing on Bridge Street at night because the cars are running through there, and
Right.
I think that they should have. I'm a fan of those crosswalks that light up.
They work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was there any thought by the organization to do something maybe a little less to Jim's vision and maybe a little less expensive, or was that never really considered?
We have it our own way already done that.
Okay.
Jim's vision is way bigger than what we're doing. Way bigger. His vision is to have the gymnasium.
It didn't involve steel slats, did it?
No, it didn't.
I'm just kidding.
His vision included, among the things his vision included, was to have the entire side of the gymnasium of the elementary school, which is that several-story, box structure, to be slate. And on the slate, the upper part of the slate would be the image of the Delaware River and accurate of the river coming through and Lewis Island, and so the kids would see this is where you live. And then down below, the slate continues to the ground, and we just throw chalk out there. Go at it. Draw stuff.
What a great concept.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, he's such a very innovative man.
Yeah. And not part of the fencing, part of Jim's vision that down the road is a lower brick structure, fence, I guess, wall, in front of the where the elementary school playground is, in which the kids would be helped to create a mosaic in the inside of the inner part of the brick. So the brick would be, the brick wall would be there. There'd be the perimeter of it all designed out beautifully, and in the space in the middle would be the kids creating a whole mosaic project.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
The park is really, what I live in town, and I always kind of think of that whole area as being part of the school. I mean, it's not really open to the public, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, because there's nothing there but fields, ball
It's
fields.
open to the public. If someone wants to use it, they need to get permission from the Recreation Commission, right? So a person can have a party there, for instance, a birthday party or whatever, and they just need to get approval from, in essence, the city. There can't be alcohol. But WDVR did a live broadcast of Heartland's Hayride there a couple of years ago, and so it is permanently leased to the city for $1 through the Clausen family.
Oh,
So, once the I think where the basketball and the kids play area there is, from there on in, it's all city responsibility. It's it's in essence public.
mhm. And the fields are used by other schools, right?
Well, there was the recent thing where they tore up the football field and replanted it to make it a full 100-yard football field, so that the high school, while the high schools renovate their football field, it could be a place for a couple of years where the high school can play their games. But other than that, other schools don't use that. It's
Okay.
Some shared sports leagues come and use it.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
like the Crossbridge, is it baseball? Which is New Hope, Soulbury, Lambertville baseball, and then the mouthful, the Lambertville West Amwell Youth Baseball Softball Association, is there, and then the Ramblers football is there.
So there's like a picnic area?
There is a picnic area by the gazebo.
Okay.
And that gazebo is in the area of in the vicinity of where we envision the fountain to be.
Okay.
Which is over the left field fence on the baseball field.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the dough from the fountain isn't just for the fountain. It's to incorporate all of that's there, right? So it's going to be one space.
Mm-hmm. What about landscaping? Isn't it?
That's part of the deal.
That's kind of an expensive thing to maintain too.
You bet.
Yeah.
Right. So, but one of the people on our board, two people on our board. One is a landscape architect, and one is a landscape contractor. They part of their vision is to what are the right things to plant there that can be sustainable, that would require the minimum. In terms of the
right indigenous species and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a cool thing that's going on right now. If you know the park, there was the giant tree that was recently taken down over the center field wall.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Everyone thought.
I remember when that tree was looking good. It was a shame.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was
a
just
big old tree.
Everyone thought it was a sycamore tree. It turns out it wasn't a sycamore tree. It was a London plane tree. Okay. Looks like a sycamore to me, but London plane tree. And thanks to the good relationship we have with the guys who run Nice Lumber, they've arranged to have that tree milled up and dried, so that we can then kick off a fundraising effort by having we're going to approach some of the very serious craftsmen, carpenters, cabinet makers, to construct tables, sculpture that we can then auction off to go towards the building of the fountain. So
Great idea.
yeah, it's just number one, so generous on the part of the guys from Nice Lumber,
Yeah.
Bruce and Mark Curry.
Uh-huh.
But to have all this wood milled up and then dried, and then hopefully, there are some fantastic woodworkers in this area. And
So is that kind of a rare tree, a London plane? I don't know much about trees. It sounds like a special tree.
I think it's special.
It is now.
It is now, yeah.
It is, and we, because it's local.
And because it grew up there, yeah.
It's our tree.
It grew there, yeah.
Right? All the kids who played, baseball, just everyone knows that tree.
Yeah, sure.
You know? So to have a table made from that tree would be pretty cool.
Have you thought about doing a GoFundMe, or do you have one already?
No, we don't have one. For the fountain?
Yeah, for the fountain.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Seems to be pretty effective for certain things.
We have nothing to lose by exploring that.
There you go.
So
we got an idea today.
Yeah,
So-
good. Thank you.
So as far as your fundraising, is it more individuals or businesses, or who are your
Yes.
big sponsors that you can divulge or publicly thank as the case may be?
Well, I should have been prepared for that.
I know you're gonna look bad because you forgot somebody.
I know. Mostly it's been business. Well, it's been businesses, some businesses and individuals, and some folks who've been particularly generous are the Ragos, Stone Kings, Nice Lumber, and then a lot. This is kind of how Obama got elected. A lot of individual contributions, a ton of them.
Yeah. So I assume the organization does a lot of networking and people shaking hands and knocking doors and asking friends and.
Yeah, we try not to shake people down too much, but we do an annual full mailing, for which we're getting envelopes back right now.
Right.
And when Jim was alive, Jim died in February of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And when Jim was alive, he was always coming up with, let's do this, let's do that, let's do a dinner at the grill room, So, sure. So we did a lot of different events.
Right.
And so the one we're excited about right now is the whole, wood deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So when are you going to have anything specific? Any kind of dates as far as that is concerned, or
Of when
you're going to
Promotional
have
dates, yeah.
when you're going to have stuff ready to auction, or would you have any tentative dates for when you hope to have an auction, or when to publicly display this work?
we are hoping that the wood will be ready by the fall.
Okay.
Right.
So we got a ways to go.
Yeah, it needs to.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it needs to sit around, and then it needs to go into a kiln.
Right.
Right. So between now and then, we're going to do some promotion to ask certain specific, wizards with wood, would you consider helping us by doing a piece and be
Right.
willing to give it away?
Right.
And then we're going to open it up for others who would like to participate. And all of that we'll be gathering momentum through the summer on that. And we're going to create a panel of people to judge, applications basically, that, because we don't want people to feel they're being shunned or whatever, but we want a standard where it'll be fantastic woodworking.
So we get the fence built.
Yep.
Everything goes great, and the fountain and all that other work is concerned. Is there something beyond the fountain, or is
I can't think that far. We get to the fountain.
so look in your crystal ball, and everything's great, and the fountain's done, and people are crazy about it. What's next to fulfill the vision?
Geez. That mosaic wall outside the school
Okay,
would be a lot of fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be very cool. I like the idea of Jim's slate on the outside of the gymnasium. I mean, he just could not stop thinking creatively.
Right.
So, but I would love, truly my thing is we can get that fountain locked in.
Mm-hmm.
And, the vision really is that fountain is there, and kids are dancing in that fountain, and the sensors in the fountain respond to the kids' movements and send the different shoots of water up.
Right.
And then Jim had this vision, which I think would be a cool thing to do, to build a pyramid of Christmas trees in the fountain in the wintertime and light them up.
Okay.
That would be pretty cool.
Do you have the blueprints of all of this?
Yeah.
Wow. He came up with the blueprints too?
Well, when you're using a technical term, blueprint,
Right.
a lot of times Jim's initial vision would be on a napkin.
How about a sketch? Do they have any sketches?
A Hamilton grill napkin, no
Yeah,
less.
yes, right. We have sketches for sure.
Pretty cool. I wish we could post a couple on the YouTube. We had them here, but we don't.
Yeah, well, some of those sketches and those images are on the Friends of Ely Park website.
Okay.
Which folks can take a look at and see.
Is that friendsofelypark.org? What's your address?
Friendsofelypark.org, yes.
There you go. That was a good guess.
Yes.
You're good.
You're doing a fine job.
You're good at
Rob.
this, man.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming in. Should we let him off the hook and go to a break?
Yeah, I guess. That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks,
really,
guys.
and outlining what's going on with the fountain and with the fence.
I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to spread the word because we got a good thing going.
I know. Well, maybe we'll have you back at some point.
Fine by me.
There you go.
You could bring some sketches with you.
I could do that,
Yeah. I don't know if it works for radio, though.
but it could work.
We
for
do
these
have
cameras.
we have some cameras, though.
Yeah, we could bring some serious sketches.
Yeah, we got
That
the
would
YouTube
be awesome.
page here.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to be right back after a break. Okay, Rodney?
Sounds good to me, Rob.
See you guys in a little bit.
The sweet embraces, love and love and love. People.
Hey, I'm Deirdre Anderson with Delish Catering,
And I'm Laura Mangone from Chambers Walk Cafe and Catering.
and we'd like you to join us on Food for Thought, where what do we talk about, Laura? We talk about restaurants, we talk about
Pet
recipes,
peeves,
pet
food.
peeves, bitchy hostesses,
All sorts of food-related items.
all sorts of
Tune
food
in.
stuff, and sometimes not so much food stuff. We go off on segues, but we have a lot of fun, don't we?
Absolutely.
So join us on Food for Thought.
PANJradio.com, 1 o'clock weekdays.
Hi, I'm Vinny Veterosa, and I approve this message.
Vinny is such a pussycat. And incidentally, if you've never had a massage by Vinny Veterosa, you
like
must
this.
do it. You will be grateful to me for having suggested it, for him for having done it, and for yourself for having the wisdom to accept the advice.
Half Table Will Travel with Vinny Verderosa.
He's got magic thumbs.
Acupressure.
The man has magic thumbs. He really does.
He really does.
Right now, 3 one-hour sessions for the price of 2, which include general massage, reflexology, and acupressure. Check me out. See for yourself why people feel so good when their session is done. On Facebook, Acupressure Half Table Will Travel. On the web, relaxintoreiki.com/partners. My telephone number is 732-259-3129. And you can get me here anytime on PANJradio.com.
I can't get my computer to work.
Let me help you with that.
How'd you do that?
I just got techie with Geeks on Site.
Our geeks literally come on site. No need to stop what you're doing or block off time. We come to your home, office, or wherever you are. And we don't just fix whatever computer issues you might be having. We explain and teach you along the way so you can feel empowered and then help others at home or in your office. Better yet, don't have time for tech support to come to you? Let us remote into your desktop or laptop, and one of our geeks will instantly walk you through. We offer affordable prices on our remote services and IT support. You and those in your office will never have to wait hours to have your technical questions answered. Get your free computer diagnosis today with your very own geek.
Get started now and we'll help you instantly. Call 844-606-8411. 844-606-8411. That's 844-606-8411. Have you been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? If you're paying $20 a pill for Viagra, you're being taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $2. Save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Get 50 blue or 50 yellow pills for just $99. You save more than $500. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in an unmarked package. Call us right now. 800-359-9116. 800-359-9116.
That sounds awesome.
We're back.
Can I get some yellow? Can I get some yellow pills?
You want a little blue pill? You don't need a little blue pill. I've heard stories. You don't need any kind of.
Oh my!
You don't need any help in that department.
But like we were talking off air, I mean, there's obviously, a lot of great intentions and a beautiful space. But I mean, obviously, whenever you have public money and a vision for a certain project, I mean, there's obviously going to be some conflicts, but
yeah, I mean, there was comments online. Who paid for I paid enough. I mean, I know I live here. I pay hell of a lot of tax.
Yes.
So I think.
But it's one of those things. I mean, it
is a once in a lifetime project, though.
Yeah. I mean, and if the fence does last as long as it's supposed to last, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
Strictly from that standpoint. I mean, obviously, anybody who's a homeowner, you're going to learn pretty quickly that if you do things on the cheap, it ain't going to last.
Right.
So, as far as, this fence, that fence, this fence, it all varies. Who knows?
Because the park is right next to a school. It's kind of like part of a school.
Right.
It's not really the kind of a park that's like, come on in, like, it's kind of like, who uses this park? I mean, you see kids in it all the time.
Right.
It's not really appropriate for like a 50-year-old guy in a raincoat, by himself to go wandering in there and enjoy the fountain.
I know.
It's public funds,
We're going to be really
maybe I'm
disappointed.
splitting hairs here. I don't know. But, it's like, that's what I'm asking. I mean, I drive past this park, and I've never set foot in the park.
Yeah, I've either ridden on my bike past it or driven past it many, many times. I didn't even know it had a name, to be honest with you. I just thought it was just a park.
It's just that big ball field area.
I know.
Right.
What every town needs.
So,
and that's, it's, I mean, any kind of expenditure, there's obviously a return on investment issue. Okay, well, what do we get in exchange for this? And, if it makes the town more attractive, and people complain about taxes, and maybe they should, but, one of the things is if any kind of expenditure makes a town more attractive and more things to do, then more people are maybe going to want to buy your house when it's time to sell. There's obviously,
right.
all the places where we've owned houses in two towns, and one in Connecticut and one in Pennsylvania, and of course, like school budgets. I mean, we live in the Pennsbury School District, and there's huge amounts of money being spent, but it makes our houses that much more attractive because people want to buy houses in a certain school district. So, yes, you pay more money, but the hope is maybe in the long run you'll get at least some of that back when you sell your house, because who wants to buy a house in a crappy school district?
Well, something like 70% of the taxes we pay here are for the school.
Yeah. So it's,
And,
there's no free meal.
Right, but the people who don't have kids here, they don't really get a benefit from that.
Well, that's right. It's like,
and they
it's like,
have a
my
pay cut.
daughter's in college. Should I get a tax cut? I don't know. It's like, I'm not getting the benefit anymore. So, but, yeah.
My kids never went to this. I moved here after my kids were grown, so I never had the benefit of this park. But I mean, I would love to see this park. I hope it's open.
Right.
So people can use it, even though it's next to a school, without having to
jump the fence.
Feel like they're trespassing. To
right.
see this beautiful monument to Jim Hamilton.
And we didn't discuss it. I mean, obviously they have a certain vision as to what should be going on here, but where we lived in Connecticut, the vision there for a park was a giant playground, which was completely handicap accessible. And it was like everything in that playground, which was a really good size, had that in mind. Mm-hmm. And it was really an amazing place. So I don't know. I don't know if Jim is still listening, but I don't know if that's part of the vision or not, but it's really a tremendous sight to see, especially kids who have handicaps and have disabilities and they can't participate like everybody else. But if the playground is properly equipped, they can, and it's a great thing to see.
Absolutely.
rise and ring back tone while your party is reached.
I'm calling Vinny to see if he's out of the hospital.
Well, I hope
this is his
so.
show.
Well, I know we did, just a fraction of the good work that would have been done if Vinny were here, but...
Hello.
Vinny.
Is that,
Yes.
is that you, Vinny?
Yes, it is.
This is in the green room. I just want to warn you, we are live on the radio.
Okay, guess who this is?
Sounds really familiar.
In the green room with Vinny V, but Vinny V is not here, so we thought we'd give you a call. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm hanging in there. I had some physical therapy today, and now I'm crashed out.
All right,
Chilling out.
That's okay. Maybe get some yellow pills. Maybe that'll help.
Maybe.
No, the blue ones. The blue ones.
The blue ones.
Mm.
Yeah, I threw them away a while ago.
The little blue pills.
Little blue meanies.
Does your wife know about this?
What's that?
Does your wife know you threw those pills out?
Yeah, she knows.
She does now.
Yes, she does. So what's going on there? We talking about the park?
Yeah. We
Yeah,
had
we talked about the park. It's
Jim Mastrich in here, and he explained the park and the fountain. It was very informative.
Great.
Yeah, and it's...
Yeah.
Just want to give you your 10 minutes here before the show's over, if you'd like to talk about anything.
Well, no, I'm glad you called. I was kind of just chilling, and I was thinking of calling, but I just didn't have the energy at the moment. But since you called me, I got the energy back. How about that?
Yeah.
It's good to have energy.
Yeah.
Especially with the blue pills.
Yeah.
So happy New Year, officially.
Happy New Year to you guys, yeah. And in the green room for the new year, yeah.
In the green room is one more year on the air. And I have a really good feeling about this year. How do you feel about this year, Rodney? You feeling this is going to be a good year? I don't know why, but I'm very optimistic.
It's going to be a very interesting year.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's that old Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. So I don't know if that's good or bad or not, but...
I think all times have been or interesting.
I think...
When was it not interesting?
Personally, I'm going to try to get involved in more stuff and do more things.
Okay, there you go.
It's definitely going to be more interesting personally as far as society in general. I don't know about that, but... it's just I kind of feel like I've been kind of on the sidelines, so it's time to do more.
You've been on the sidelines of life?
Yes, I have been.
You're pretty busy. I've seen, you get yourself going there.
Yeah,
here and there.
I find I'm kind of like, I'm a Syracuse alumni, and they're kind of famous for their basketball team, and they play like really. I guess the boxing term would be a tomato can, like a team that's really supposed to be really easy to beat, but they often play down to their competition, and the games can get really close, or they can lose games to teams they definitely should not lose to. So I almost feel like
it's a sense of fairness. So they want to make them feel like they're doing well.
So it's like personally, it's like if I don't have enough challenges going on, I kind of live up to those limited challenges. Maybe if I have more challenges in my life, I'll be able to accomplish more. So
okay,
I'm scheduling more difficult things in my life just to see where it'll go.
Really, like you call up the IRS, please audit me.
That's right.
I want to go through an audit.
I'm gonna drop a dime on myself. Maybe because you could actually get like reward money. Though I don't know if you can get reward money for turning yourself in.
That would be interesting. That would pay for the fine. You can say I'm writing bad checks all over the place. Check me out.
So some years ago, we went to a Christmas party at a friend's house. Very nice house, very big house. He had the basement totally redone. Did a beautiful job, and the contractor there came to the party, introduces himself, and it's like he has no idea who we are. And within 20 seconds of meeting him, he says, "Yeah, I'm the contractor here. I only take cash, and I don't pay taxes."
Oh, okay.
So I was like, "Oh,"
and you're like, "The camera's right there."
I was like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah, it's like you could have had a sting operation.
Exactly. I should have grabbed his card and then just like phoned the IRS the next day. It's like, I met Joe Smith. He's a contractor. I got his card here. He told me that he only works with cash.
Is that why they call them contractors?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh my! And then there was
challenges here.
Then there was one time we had a tree taken down. It cost us like $2,000. It was 3 trees.
$2,000.
Yeah, they were huge trees, and so the supervisor there goes, well, you know, the boss would like you to pay in cash. I was like, I don't have $2,000.
I actually had the same experience with the tree guys. They wanted to get paid in cash.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I hope these guys are. I hope the companies are paying for this work for the worker comp insurance, because one of those guys falls out of a tree and there's no worker comp insurance.
Oh yeah.
That company's in serious trouble. But it was very kind of shady. I wasn't too happy with the guys, but the trees are gone.
The trees are gone.
The trees are gone, and they took a check.
They took
they took a check. Okay.
Yes.
And then check bounced.
Put the tax in there too. I'm sure.
That's right.
Put the checks in there. Yeah, well, plenty of challenges in my world right now.
Yeah. See, you know, you only learn what your capacity is when you're challenged.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're moving right along here.
That's right.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you're gonna you're gonna find the capacity. You're gonna have the capacity.
Yeah,
You just got to take one day at a time.
got to keep stretching though. Keep stretching at the beginning here to get through all of this stuff. But
It's too bad that the drugs have side effects, and Rodney, you went through that too, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
The drugs make you feel worse than the malady.
Well, it's funny. I went through cancer treatment, and actually initially it made me feel better because my disease was so progressed, and it was really kicking my ass. So actually, as bad as the meds were, I was actually feeling better because it started like getting its grips around the disease, and the disease was starting to go away, so I felt better. But
I'm waiting. I mean, I've gotten that that neuropathy it gave me.
So you can't play the violin anymore?
Nope.
I don't remember him playing the violin.
Nope. Or the guitar.
Well, the guitar he can play.
Yeah.
You know,
guitar either.
you should have asked your doctor before all this started, will I be able to play the violin afterwards?
Yeah, well, you know.
And they'll say, oh, sure. Well, I've never played it before.
On that one. But a little tingling in the hands and feet, they told me.
Yes, it's kind of unnerving, literally.
Yeah. Yep.
Or nerving. More nerving.
Yeah, more nerving.
That's actually a side effect. Sometimes I get migraines and I feel numbness in my fingers. So it's definitely a very strange feeling. It's a very, because you literally, you got, it's like your fingers are made out of rubber.
Yep.
And it's your feet too, right? Then you get that with your feet.
Too. That's why I can't walk well. Yeah, I'm out of balance. And then on top of all this, my Achilles tendon is messed up. So on my good foot, not on my bad foot, on my good foot, and I got some other stuff going on.
Awesome.
On my other foot, it's really a challenge.
Okay, well that's what it is, Vinny. It's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're a young man, Vinny, so
that's right.
We know you're going to be okay.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm glad you called.
Yeah, we're thinking about you.
Yeah, well, we're glad you answered.
2019 is going to be a good year.
It is going to be a good year.
Yep, new beginning.
That's right.
I'm going to get the Trumpster out of office is going to be one thing.
Yeah.
That we're going to do this year.
I know Mitt Romney's going to lead the parade.
I mean, how good does Mitt Romney look right now?
Well, you know what? It doesn't take much.
All of a sudden, Mitt Romney. I mean, even W. Yeah. I'm like, wow, I wish W had run for another term.
It's like the good old days, you know.
Oh my God!
It's funny. It's like maybe things weren't so bad back then. So it's all relative.
It's all relative. Exactly. I mean, you look back at these speeches that Reagan was making. I thought Reagan was a horrible person at the time, and now they keep. You play these. He's like welcoming immigrants. I mean, he had a lot of nice things to say about people.
He didn't. He was against sale of.
He broke the unions.
Well, he did that, but it was the assault weapons. He was for the assault weapon ban.
Yeah.
I mean, initially he was against. Well, he was for cutting taxes, but eventually he kind of learned that he had to.
He did the trickle down, didn't he?
So that
didn't work.
Well, nobody's perfect.
And he did the arms race in a big way.
Yeah.
That's true, but he definitely.
And his wife's anti-drug thing was ineffective. Just saying no, it's really not enough motivation.
Yeah, that was not working. But I think towards the end of his time in office, he did the START. I think it's called START agreements to reduce nuclear weapons. So it's a mixed bag.
Yes, it is.
Mostly bad now that I think about it.
But that's true of any president.
And he blew up Nicaragua. That was not good.
There's a lot of criticism as far as of Trump as far as immigration is concerned, but Obama was one of the top presidents as far as as expelling people out of the country.
Yep.
Though his focus was on people who had broken the law and people who had crossed the border relatively quickly. I mean, relatively soon. So they're in
the immediate past,
right? So they were targeting people who were recently crossed the border and gotten to the country,
right?
And had committed crimes in the past. Whereas now it's pretty much anything goes.
Yeah, pretty much. They want to get rid of the Vietnamese.
They want to get rid of everybody and anybody. They really. It's all about the numbers. So I think it's all the low hanging fruit. So
yeah, it's crazy,
That's
man.
True. The low-hanging fruit to grab them. Yes, indeed. Well.
All right, Vinny. Any final thoughts? We got a minute left.
No, just keep on trucking. Let's bring peace this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a better year.
Yep. We'll have a nice show next week too. I hope if I can make it.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I hope you can make it in for that.
Yeah, I hope so too. Really looking forward to it. If I get my feet to cooperate.
That's right. One foot in front of the other.
That's it.
We got the music playing here.
Oh, good. All right, guys. I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank everybody for listening and watching.
In the green room, signing out. Till next week.
Until next week.
People before me